right, and we're live.
What's up, heels and babyface, or I should say, geeks and geekettes? It's another episode of the Countdown City Geekcast. I'm your host this week because Steady is, I don't know where the hell he is, JC.
Didn't invite us either.
Yeah, bastard. Joining us, we got, as he calls him, the man behind the magic, we got Mr. Joe Garcia.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's going to be a good show today. I got a good feeling because Uncle Teddy's not here, and me and JC and Jericho took over the show. So you know what? Wherever you're at, Ted, stay gone.
Oh man.
And also joining us, and it's insert random quote from Can't Hardly Wait, we got Jericho.
Yes. What's up, y'all?
And he's joined by his son. What's his nickname? What should we call him?
Think of a nickname for you. We're introducing you.
No,
I don't know.
no.
He doesn't want to
No.
be introduced.
He was just, well, you're on camera. That's Remy.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. All right. So there's Steady right there, just sending a palm tree emoji. Whatever, bro. Not that I can say much when I sent a little movie review video from South Padre.
I guess he's on a deserted island. Then JC, he's stuck somewhere.
Yeah.
He's probably asking for help, and we're just like, all right, we're gonna do the show.
You know what? Put your message in a bottle. We'll get it eventually.
Yeah. Or Nathan Drake that shit. Just explore Uncharted, whatever.
There you go.
So today we're going to talk a little bit about episodes 6 and 7 of Superman and Lois, which are, in my personal opinion, some of the best in the series. Also talk a little bit about a couple of trailers that have come out, and just because I'm running the show, we might get into a little bit of wrestling talk because
yeah, we will.
We're not going to have a WrestleCast this week. There's some stuff worth discussing, but the reason we're not having a WrestleCast is that myself and the rest of the WrestleCast is going to AEW Dynamite tomorrow in San Antonio for St. Patrick's Day Slam, and there is a lot lined up for that show that I'm so glad we're getting in San Antonio. So
very cool.
So it's going to be a short show. Exactly, Tina. That's correct. Now,
there's no monologuing going on.
There's none. So I'm going to switch it up a little bit, and I think I think we should talk about the trailers first.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Kenobi, guys. This trailer, it's highly anticipated. People have been wanting to see this series for a while. I don't know if we're going to play it or if you guys just want to talk about it. It's hilarious. Can we have it queued up or should we just discuss it? I think by now everybody has seen it, correct?
Yeah, everybody's seen it. We don't have it queued up, so we can just discuss it.
Okay, so we'll start with Jericho. What stuck out to you the most from this trailer that maybe like something that surprised you or something that you saw that you were looking forward to seeing?
I mean, obviously the reveal of Vader, like seeing the quick little clip of him.
Oh no!
Of course he freezes. I go to the guy that's going to freeze with the horrible internet connection. Get AT&T fiber while you're at it, dude. Jeez.
It's like was it that phrase from Batman with Mr. Freeze? Freeze.
Is it working for me?
Now it's working. You're back. Grainy, but back.
Freeze.
I think my audio went out.
All right, start all over again. Go for it. He's freezing again. All right. Well, Joe, while we try and figure that stuff out, let's talk to you. What about the Kenobi trailer? Something that surprised you? Something you expected to see there?
The one thing that I liked seeing there was the appearance of one young Anakin. Well, not Anakin, but Luke Skywalker. You know, and I thought that was cool. And it was just him being a kid, just playing. You know, kind of imagining himself probably in a far away, world or flying in outer space somewhere. So kind of foreshadowing what will be. So to me that was interesting. And then the other aspect was also seeing Obi-Wan and kind of him just watching over and going through life, on Tatooine, trying to lay low and keep Luke hidden, and the aspect that I'm really interested in is seeing how they're going to have the Inquisitors come to play and some of the adventures that Obi-Wan Kenobi is going to go on while he's trying to kind of mask himself being a Jedi, so to me, it's a really interesting show because we've never seen this side of one Obi-Wan, and his story in this whole thing. We've only seen him in Star Wars A New Hope when he's kind of mentoring one Luke Skywalker, and by that part he's on the latter part of his career, should we say, but this to me is something that I think Star Wars fans are going to get really excited about.
Yeah, I think this is something people have been wanting to see since episode 3 was released years ago. It seems like so long ago, right? Jericho, with internet hopefully working, maybe you got that dial-up connection going good. What what are your thoughts on the trailer for Kenobi?
All right, so hopefully this works again. Uh, no, I'm kidding. So yeah, so the Inquisitors stuck out to me. I thought they looked really cool. Of course, seeing Vader, he looks awesome. The fact that Remy's frozen. Look at that. Oh, never mind. Um, and then stop stealing dinner from my neighbor. Whatever, Derek. Um, but yeah, man, seeing Obi-Wan and now I know Uncle Owen and I don't know if Aunt Peru is coming back, but Uncle Owen's gonna be back and just kind of seeing them. I'm curious to see because they always make fun of like the difference between uh, Obi from Revenge of the Sith and how he looks compared to when we see him in A New Hope. I wonder if they'll address that at some point, like maybe something's gonna happen to them or whatever. But you can tell he already looks aged up a little bit. You can tell there's definitely some more wrinkles and all that. So I don't know, man. It looks really cool. I mean, Obi Wan is a beast, and I'm glad they have so many people coming back. Hayden Christensen. If I remember correctly, is Ahsoka supposed to come out as well? I don't remember
I
if that was
don't know if
announced.
they've officially confirmed that. There's
Okay.
rumors, but I don't know if that's been officially confirmed.
But yeah, I
Uh,
mean, just I don't know, just seeing the life of what happened between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, seeing everything that he went through, it kind of reminds me of Rogue One because there's you don't know what happened in between, and so I that was such a great movie. I feel like they have so much that they can kind of work with and just really make it a great series. So I'm excited, man.
you guys mentioned the Inquisitors. Do you think that there's going to be some tie-in to like another bit of Star Wars lore, that other game possibly, or another show? The reason I say that is, the Inquisitors appeared in other media. I
Yeah.
think the most prominent one to me personally has been Jedi Fallen Order, the video game, and they've already announced the second one. So I wonder, and I'm theorizing, if this series is going to somehow tie into the second Jedi Fallen Order. Are we going to see like a Cal Kestis appearance or something?
Hopefully, I mean that'd be pretty cool to have them kind of link up like that. And I mean they're trying to get everything uh, connected, and whether it's all kinds of media basically. So I think that'd be pretty cool to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it would be cool to see that as well. Having played Jedi Fallen Order, I'd
So
like
good.
to see the characters come
Yes.
to life on the big screen, or on the small screen, should we say? But it'd be a nice tie-in. I mean, they've done a lot of tie-ins. Let's look at see what happened with,
Hmm.
the book of Boba. There was a lot of tie-ins there. Why can't they do that with Obi-Wan?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and judging by Luke's age in the trailer, this is at least what, maybe 6 or 7 years down the road from when he left Luke there. So where they go from there, we'll see. We'll speculate. I don't know if we'll get another trailer, but either way, I'm pretty excited to see this series.
Because it
Uh,
comes out in May, right? I think, if I'm not mistaken.
May, I think, end of
They'll
May.
probably drop one more and
Yeah,
then like a ton of clips.
yeah. Hopefully, not too many. Don't spoil everything. Don't
Yeah.
spoil everything. Leave us some surprises. So, another trailer we got: Sonic 2, the
Sonic
final one
2.
before the movie release. We think we should. Featured a lot more focus on Knuckles and Sonic, a little bit of Tails on this one, and a bit more Robotnik. So, first movie was great. Jericho, let's talk to you again before your computer freezes. Your thoughts on the Sonic 2 trailer?
I feel attacked now. Yeah, I mean, Sonic 2 looked really cool, man. I showed Remy, what was it, yesterday, I think? Today, whenever it came out, yeah, we saw it and it just looks really, really cool. We loved the first movie. Like, it was amazing. And so, yeah, with this one, I think there's been like two or three trailers and each one just looks better and better. Yeah, there's three. So it just looks fun. I mean, his ringtone alone, I mean, it's a Green Hills theme song, you know what I mean? So I don't know, man. Like it just looks fun. They're gonna be able to do a lot more now with Tails and uh Dr. Robotnik. Yeah, Knuckles. Dr. Robotnik looks insane, even more insane now. They brought in his robot, so it looks really cool. It looks a lot of fun. And the giant robot. Yeah, all the missiles and everything. That's his review too, right? You're excited for it? Couple of weeks we'll be at the theater. Tornado. Yeah, there's a lot going on in the trailer.
Remy's just like, "Where the snacks at, Dad?"
Yeah,
You know?
Yeah.
"Give me
You just
snacks
wanna
at the
give him the
movie."
headset. Let him
there
describe
you go.
it. Joe, your thoughts on the trailer for Sonic 2?
My thoughts, I mean, it looks really fun, just like the first one, and, the return of Dr. Robotnik with one Jim Carrey. I mean, he does a really great Robotnik. Who would have thought, you know? He really brings a character to life, and you have the addition of Knuckles now, which it's just like the video game, and I like to see that. It's going to be, to me, one of these movies that you're just going to go and have fun watching. You don't even have to think a lot about it or, like me, nitpick every single thing. This is one that's just a popcorn movie. You sit down with the kids and the family and you enjoy it for what it is, you
Mhm.
know?
So you admit that you nitpick too much, is what you're
I
saying.
do nitpick too
Okay.
much. I do. I'm a really picky person when it comes to movies,
Yeah.
and I'm really harsh on them sometimes, but it's because I like to watch a good film. But there's popcorn films, and Sonic and Knuckles, Sonic 2 with, Sonic and Knuckles and Tails is one of those popcorn flicks, you don't have to think a lot. You just go and enjoy it, and if you didn't like it, it's not meant to be taken seriously. It's meant for you to go in, have fun, and get a good laugh out of it, so
Yeah.
it's a good old-fashioned family movie, at its best.
Yeah, I'm sure we're going to see a lot of Knuckles, especially because I believe they're making a series for Paramount Plus centered on Knuckles as like a spinoff from this. Before they start working on Sonic 3, which I think they've already announced. It looks like fun. It looks like just as good the first one. To expand on it. Um, One little side note: the most recent movie poster for the movie looks just exactly like the cover of
Mhm.
the Sonic 2 video game back on the old Sega Genesis days. So
Yeah, it looks so
that was a
cool.
very nice little tie-in. So that's all the trailers we got, right?
Yeah,
Isn't
Yeah, I
any?
mean,
Yeah.
we
us too.
can actually talk a little bit about the Miss Marvel trailer. I don't know if you've seen it or not.
I haven't yet. You guys talk. I haven't been not that
Well, I don't wanna
it's
ruin it
true.
for you. We'll just say
I
something this without ruining it for you
yeah.
without ruining it for you. I thought it was really nice,
Mhm.
they're gonna go in a different direction, like Jericho had kinda told you before we got on air here.
Yeah.
But overall, I like the direction of the show, of, like, where they're gonna go with it. It's gonna be something that is gonna be able to bring in that younger audience, from, like, I guess, teens, preteen age. I think they're gonna dig this because 'cause they're gonna be able to
Yeah.
relate to the character much like they were able to do with Spider-Man. So it's bringing in that younger generation, so I like it,
Yeah, man.
What about you?
Definitely a different style, and you could see from the trailer alone, like it's because she's this huge fan of Captain Marvel, and so um, it's very prominent in the film. It kind of reminded me, Joe, of Into the Spider Verse a little bit. Like
Yeah,
style, comic book style wise, stuff like that.
Interesting.
So that's gonna be pretty cool. It's kind of a merging of the two, live action and comic book style. Yeah,
yeah,
so it looks
kinda
really cool.
focused on a younger character,
Hmm.
trying to figure their powers out and their way in this world,
And it's
and
a
kind
huge
of
honor. I mean, it's the first,
yeah.
what is it, Muslim superhero, I think, something like that. Yeah, like that's pretty cool. That's
Yeah,
really,
I
really
love the
cool.
direction that Disney's, been taken in
Yeah.
that direction, by the way, which makes me that much more excited for, the Blue Beetle to finally hit the
Yeah.
big screen?
Well, that'll be on HBO, but yeah, no, I agree. Have
Look in
y'all
And it's
there.
gonna be in the
seen
theater. That's gonna
Yeah,
be in the theater as well, so
Yeah.
yeah. Have y'all seen, real quick before we move on, Marvel has been updating, it's for Daredevil, Punisher, like, they've been updating their
oh, yeah.
pictures and all that, and everyone's freaking out. Pretty sure it's just to announce that they're coming over to Hulu and Disney Plus and all that, but everyone's like, "Oh, is it another season?" But
Yeah,
it's exciting.
It might
I think
be
it's
here,
coming to
though.
Disney Plus, and the reason I know that is because those dumbasses over at the Parents Television Council have been trying to make a hoopla about
Oh,
why is
yeah.
Disney putting R-rated in TV. Look, they're going to update with parental controls. Just shut the hell up. Just,
Mhm.
just let people
That's
stream your
it.
service. There's parental controls. You can set that stuff.
Yep.
Don't be idiots about this. And if you guys are having trouble with the Parents Television Council, just look how WWE handled it years ago. They did a pretty damn
Mhm.
good job, and they haven't said a damn thing
They
about WWE ever
did.
since.
You know what? They
So.
should have a filter that just says, "F them kids. This is for the parents."
For the God access, I have the FM kids filter. That's
Right?
right. So, yeah. So, yeah, that's very cool to see that all coming full circle. Maybe it's a matter of time before we see the Spider-Man movies on Disney Plus because those are the only MCU stuff missing. But then again, that's owned by Sony. Maybe Sony will let
Yeah.
it put it on Hulu or something. Who knows? All right. Well, guys, let's move on to Superman and Lois. Now, the last time we talked about this was a couple of weeks ago. Oh, there we go.
There's
Of course,
Ryan.
Ryan. Disney parents get mad at people without kids. Right. Of course. Um, Now, Superman and Lois. We talked about this the most recent episode, episode 5, a couple weeks ago. You guys talked about the Batman. Don't spoil anything for me. I still haven't seen it. I don't know when I'm going to see it, but
3 hours runtime. So just
I've
throwing that out there.
a year ago, a year ago this day, I had early access to Zack Snyder's Justice League, and I sat
Right.
through 4 hours of that. So I'm not at all complaining about it. So yeah. Episode 6 of Superman and Lois. There's 2 episodes we're talking about, and when you think about it, they do kind of tie in together, one big storyline. But episode 6 to me, season 2, is arguably the best episode of this series. We all kind of said that. Couldn't talk about it because Teddy hadn't seen it yet, but this episode, I think the best part about it is that it was bookended by bizarre mirror inverse scenes, fight scenes we got.
Yeah.
First one with Bizarro, second one with Superman. Very similar, very much different way. Joe, this episode itself, directed by Amy Jo Johnson, what did you think of it?
No, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was a really great opening scene. Probably one of the best that I've seen so far. Uh, because it's very reminiscent of like a graphic novel comic book, where
Yeah,
they're showing this fight scene happening with Bizarro and this other I guess the military and that universe. And it was striking how that kind of mirrored what happened at the end of this particular episode as well. I thought it was an episode that was very well done. I loved the pacing. I loved everything about it. Really solid episode. Really just kept the story moving forward. And, it's kind of getting that little peek into knowing a little bit more about Bizarro himself, which I think they've done a miraculous job, an amazing job of bringing this character to life finally in a way that I think is doing the character justice. It's really hard to get a Bizarro type of character and be able to really pull it off. And kudos to the writers, and everybody behind the scenes working hard with keeping Superman and Lois going. They've done a great job in this season too, and introducing Bizarro has been amazing to see. JC, and episode 6 was a good episode, solid episode.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Jericho, you're the other Superman fan myself, so they went a little different route with how Bizarro's origin. This isn't really another world; it's like an inverse world. Bizarro's not as revered as he said in this world as he is on our Earth. Uh, Allie's trying to acquire both pendants to basically unite the worlds, become sort of a god kind of thing.
Right.
Um, your thoughts on how they've handled Bizarro in this, how they've explained his origin, and how it's translated?
Yeah. I mean, again, it's definitely a different take. I think they did an amazing job.
Mhm.
Um, I love. It was just the opening scene alone was amazing. Like just seeing, like you said, the comparison. I think they've handled it great. This is the first full live action where we get him real fleshed out. And Smallville doesn't count because it was like a quick little glimpse.
It was a phantom.
It was a fantasy, yeah.
Yeah, it was a whole
Um,
season arc, but yeah.
so I think, yeah, I think it's been great. I love that the episode is directed by Amy Jo Johnson, but just the way that, yeah, that they've been kind of bringing the stories out, and they don't stray away. They don't focus on one thing over the other. Again, back to Bizarro, like I just really love how his whole origin, and he's just trying to save basically this Earth, this world, and stop Allie, mostly just stop Allie, you know what I mean? So I really like how they're focusing on that.
Um, your guys' thoughts on the way they're going around with Anderson on this? He's berated by his superior, decides to capture Superman. I mean, this is a stark contrast to how General Sam Lane had worked with him, and it's. I don't know if this character is going to make it through the end of the season, as far as if he's going to get himself killed at this
Yeah.
point. So
Yeah, I don't think so.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm real annoyed with him because I mean it's night and day. It's yin yang with him and General Lane. I love that General Lane is still trying to help out as best as he can. Behind the scenes. But outside of that, I mean, this guy, he's just full fledged against Superman. Like he just doesn't trust him, and Superman's kind of given him some reasons not to, but the fact that he had the Superman of America, and just the way they dealt with those teenagers' deaths as well, um, and the mom getting out. I don't remember if it was in the same episode or if it's the next one, but the way they handled it was great. Like he basically, literally got a slap to the face. He really kind of got what do you call it, like a wake up call there, um, which leads him to further on in the next episode what happens. But I can't stand him. I really don't think he's gonna make it.
I sure
Someone's gonna
hope
get
he
to
doesn't
him.
make it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Y-
Joe, anything you want to add on Anderson? Because there's another thing that you've mentioned as we talked about Superman and Lois that I kind of want to get into. But is there?
Yeah, throughout this season 2, the guy just never seemed to trust Superman at all. It's like he had his own agenda, and that was kind of a smear campaign to kind of show everybody we don't need Superman, because he's like a fraud kind of. And,
Mhm.
and once you start diving deeper and deeper into season 2 and you start learning more about Allie and this inverse kind of universe thing that's going on here, um, I kind of got the hint that he was actually in cahoots or working with Allie. You know, we'll see in episode 7 that's probably not the case, but it just seemed like that. Because he just doesn't trust him, and he's like at every turn trying to, I don't know, antagonize him or trying to bait him and starting some type of conflict.
Mhm.
Either you're going to be with us and you do everything I tell you,
Mhm.
or you're an enemy and you're a traitor. And Superman's like, well, that's not the way this works because I don't need to be told what to do. I'm here for the good of the people. I'm here to help everybody on planet Earth. I'm not here with an agenda to help anybody with their militaristic ideals,
Mhm.
and we've seen that
Yeah.
happen quite often where he was helping save a submarine. What was it, off the coast of, I think, North
North
Korea or
Korea.
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
And he got very upset. And why didn't you bring that submarine over here? And he's like, that's not what I do. I'm
Mhm.
came to save the people, put them on the beach, let them go about their lives,
And I
They're
like that
doing their
they
job.
I like that they talk about that too, that they're not
Yeah.
afraid to bring that up, and especially, North Korea the way it is and everything. So I like that Superman is not just America's, hero. He's for the whole world. He's for everyone.
Yeah,
So I thought
the
that's
way
really
that
cool.
I've seen this particular character portrayed is he has a problem with the way Superman has power, and it's not power physically, his abilities. It's more as him having this power with the people, being
Yeah.
well respected, everybody looking up to him. And it seems like the character, the general, I forget his name. What was his name?
Sam Lane.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lois'
He
father.
he seems to always want to have respect. He's vying for respect. And the only way he knows how to get that is to kind of, have Superman submit to his will.
Mhm.
You're going to do what I tell you because I'm the guy in charge. And it seems like he's always vying to get respect from his peers and from everybody else. And that's the issue that I've seen that the character has had since the beginning of the season. It's a power struggle with him. He wants to be well respected. He wants the position of power. And unfortunately, he's trying to force people to do what he wants instead of trying to gradually earn their trust and their respect. So by forcing the issue, he's made himself the villain. And that's why nobody can stand him because he's just a weasel
Mhm.
out for his own agenda.
Yeah, it's the young upstart hero or lieutenant trying to take over a experienced general's position. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not going to work out. Now, one thing that you have talked so much about, Joe, and we've talked about this series, is how the family dynamic is and how well it's done. There's some challenging things. First, Lana's family's dealing with what stuff that came to light in the previous episode about Kyle having an affair. Had ended about a couple years later, them trying to deal with that, and Jordan catching his brother with an ex kryptonite inhaler. You know, great for the football field, but stuff that's come out since then, and you know, uh, then I mean, this kind of leads a little bit into the next episode, but it's stuff that I mean, not saying that this not everyone deals with this, but there are people in the world that deal with sort of things like drug use,
Yeah.
parents potentially on the brink of divorce, that kind of a thing. How well have they captured this episode too, as far as family conflicts?
Yeah, I thought they did a great job, throughout the season, especially in these episodes, touching on all these different factions of dynamics that go on within the family. You have the dynamic between Lois and her sister, and them trying to come to terms with, them trying to find some in between, some middle ground, and that can never happen because no matter what, Lois's sister, what's her name, Alice, right?
Lucy.
Lucy, there
Lucy,
you go.
yeah.
Yeah.
Lucy wants to kind of explain things to her. Lois is closed-minded and says, "There's only one way, my way. And if you don't believe what I believe and you don't think the way I do, there's something wrong with you. You're following a cult. Instead of trying to understand her sister, she's trying to again impose her will and say, you have to do this in order to kind of be my sister. And that shouldn't be the case at all. You can't force people to make certain decisions. You can only support them. If you're a family, you can only support them in the decisions that they make, whether they be good or bad. You're supposed to be there for them. And we've seen that this has put a wedge between Lois and her sister Lucy. The other dynamic of that is that we've said before, looking at the issues that affect, adolescents, teens, and touching on those subjects has been very a very sensitive thing to deal with, especially with bringing up the depression that Sarah had gone through and how she dealt with things, and even, finding out who she is, as a person, exploring herself, and then she comes and tells Jordan, "Hey, I kissed a girl at summer camp." I mean, these are things that adolescents, go through trying to find themselves, and I think they've done a great job in portraying this, showing that, hey, they can go ahead and kind of connect with other kids out there that might be going through the same thing. And also showing that, hey, the parents are doing the best they can, but they're not all perfect either.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
even the showing, Superman and Lois, Clark Kent and Lois at odds with each other and fighting with each other, and then the kids kind of seeing that same thing's going on with Lana, she's getting in arguments with her husband, and we see that he's trying to be a good guy in this season, but I mean, he can't escape his past, and then I think they've done another interesting thing is showing how dirty the world of politics really gets.
Mhm.
When you want that seat, everything comes to light, and how
Yeah.
you deal with it is another subject, but I think Lois has done, or Lana, should I say, has done a wonderful job in kind of mastering who has control or power over her. Even though you're going to bring out these dirty family secrets, no family's perfect at the end of the day. I like the way that she's taken charge and she's owned it, So I think that's turning the townspeople into saying, you know what? I think Lana is going to be the real threat here, to be the mayor of Smallville. But it's been great to see all that. Before it was mostly what's going on with Superman and kind of his family dynamic, but now kind of seeing what's going on with more people, it really brings you closer into this little world here of Smallville and having a deeper connection with more of the characters. Because everybody can relate to their plights. So, kudos to the writers, JC. They've done a great job.
Mhm.
Telling you, man, yeah, like they touch on subjects that you don't really see, or
Yeah.
or it's like exaggerated, to where it's kind of silly. But yeah, I mean they've done a lot of great character development, and not just like you said, not just focus on Superman and the family, like it's everyone in the town.
Yep.
So I love that.
Yeah, it's been done really well. You mentioned the whole election season. That's like the one reason I hate watching TV every 4 years because I'm sick of all the political ads.
Yeah.
It's the only downside to a leap year, right?
Well,
So
get ready because it's coming.
thank God for streaming services. Well, this does tie right into the next episode. At the end of episode 6, we get another fight scene. Throw some red sun radiation in there. It essentially not fully, like, doesn't kill Superman, but it neutralizes his power.
Mhm.
And we get a fight scene that's similar to the opening of the episode. Superman ends up captured and imprisoned with Tal-Rho. And that's kind of where it opens the next episode. He's stuck in prison. Family doesn't know where he is. They're trying to find him. And they're basically, Anderson wants to hold him there until he reveals where Bizarro is being kept. Because he's looking at Bizarro killed some American citizens. Well, You're the idiot that sent them to fight a guy you had no
Hmm.
reason fighting. So, um, and on top of the family dynamic, Jonathan gets the old classic, "Hey, but it's not mine." Yes, flashbacks to when they have dogs coming into our lockers in middle and high school looking for
Hmm.
anything that you have wrong there. So I was never caught with anything. I never had anything to begin with. But anyway, um, yeah, this is you never expected the Lanes to be or the Kents to be dealing with drugs,
Hmm.
so to speak. But
Yeah.
XK, hey, it's I don't know if it's some they're calling a drug or a steroid or what, but that's where they're going with. But where this one gets interesting is Talro and Superman have to work together. How do you think? How do you guys like how this played out with them tag teaming? Like, was this like an ultimate tag team we didn't know that we needed here?
I did, yeah, I enjoyed it because I didn't expect him to actually help Clark.
Mhm,
You know, I didn't expect him to actually help Cal. I fully expected him to, at his earliest, convenience, like escape, um, which later on. But in the meantime, like I mean, the whole battle when we get to it and everything. I mean, it just, he's the bad guy from season one. He was the main baddie. Like you just know he has an alternate agenda.
mhm,
Um, but Clark, as family oriented as he is, he knows there's some good in him, in Tao, and he still trusts him. He still asks for his help. So I like that little, buddy bro, bro battle there. I thought that was really cool how they handled that.
how they staged a fight just to get that
Yeah.
broken into. So, Joe, your thoughts on that little dynamic they had too? Um,
I thought the dynamic was a long time coming. I think Tal Rho has a lot to think about and ponder while he's in his prison, his cube, being fed that red sun radiation. And when you're there by yourself, you have a lot of time to kind of think about things, and you have to do a lot of reflection inward. And I think this has kind of done him some good. But at the end of the day, you can't change who he is. He is who he is. If you let him out, he's going to escape and probably want to go ahead and devise a plan to bring back Krypton on Earth. That's not going to change. But I think what he's coming to terms with is that he does have a brother, and I think he has a lot of regrets on the way things have played out. Because I think at his core, he does in some way want that connection with Superman, to have that brotherly connection. So I think it's kind of fascinating in a way that you have the anti-hero and the hero kind of colliding because they don't see eye to eye on a lot of things. But at this point, it's kind of like, hey, family does need help. You need my help, I'll go ahead and help you out, and they kind of break out of the place together, you know? So to me, that was kind of funny how everything came to play, even in the way that the episode kind of goes on, and the mom, which is the AI that Talro has over in the desert, she's happy to see the kids together, the brothers together. It made the AI smile, even though it's not real, she's still happy to see them working together. And I think that might be maybe a little hint of things to come where they're always going to be at odds, but they will work together occasionally for the better, I guess, interest, and because Tower always wants something out of this thing. So yeah, he was going to help Superman, but at some point, he's going to try to escape, and I think
yeah.
Superman knew that as well. So to me, it's just a good dynamic because we've seen other family dynamics, JC, as the humans who live in Smallville, even with Superman and his wife, Lois Lane and the kids, but we don't really see a lot of what's happening with the family dynamic when it comes to his brother and his mother. And again, this is another thing that I like that the writers have done, kind of showing the inner workings of the way the relationship is going. Can't say enough about this. It makes them more relatable, you
Hmm.
know?
Yeah, and I wonder if Talro's attitude will change a bit when Bizarro revealed that in his world, uh, Superman and Talro were inseparable. And Talro was married; he had a wife, and it wasn't until his wife tried to kill Bizarro. Things happen, right? I mean, yeah, that'll kind of mess things up. So, um, now, but that was kind of interesting with how this played out. Anderson steals XK, finds the fortress, tries to shoot Kryptonite at Bizarro. Bizarro's like, "Let me have that. That's great," And I was
Yeah.
like, "Cool, glad they did that." And he's like, "What?" But yeah, I thought it was interesting that Anderson's the one that ultimately, if Bizarro is in fact dead, kills him. Chokes him out. Superman basically has a choice to save Bizarro or save Tal-Rho, and he ultimately takes Tal-Rho to the sun so he can heal, and he's not back in time to save Bizarro. But do you guys think Bizarro's really dead, or do they just need to throw a whole bunch of green kryptonite on him to kind of revive him? Yes.
I think that's the exact thing that I was thinking about. It's like even with Superman, we saw him perish in the movie,
Hmm.
but they still were able to bring him back. I think the same thing can actually happen with one Bizarro, and they'll figure out a way. Hey, this is the way we get him reanimated again. Because even though that his essence is not there, the body can still be revived because they've shown, as they did with Superman, you can still bring him back.
Hmm.
But it might be real. What do you call it? That movie, that Stephen King movie, Pet Cemetery.
Oh
It
yeah.
might be real Pet
Yeah,
Cemetery
he looks
kind
Pet
of vibe.
Cemetery as it is,
Yeah,
So
yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Yeah, same here. I mean, I think it would be great for him to come back because he was only in what 3 episodes, I think 4 episodes, if I'm not mistaken, where we really got to get to know him and stuff. So
yeah.
um, I'm hoping they bring him back, or maybe at the end it could be a teaser where they show him like in a lab somewhere or whatever. But um, they may not necessarily bring him back right away, but it may take some time. But yeah, it'd be pretty cool to bring him back, and somehow maybe his personality will change a little bit, and um, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
You know what'd be ironic if they wind up going into this inverse world, and that's the thing that actually revives Bizarro, you know?
Yeah.
Because he's been away from that world, which is being away from that his source of power, which is that particular sun and whatever radiation that gives off. And if they wind up going there, that could be the same thing that revives him and brings him back.
That's probably what it might be. Obviously, if Kryptonite's the other option, it won't be Superman and Tal-Rho that give it to him. But
Hmm.
you know, we're not even. I mean, we're about the halfway point of the season. The inverse world is like a major thing. You kind of have to bring him back at some point. How are you going to revive him? And then how is the pendant going to come into play? Because they leave us with the cliffhanger that Anderson's being hunted. There's a warrant out for his arrest, and he visits Allie, and he has a pendant to the inverse world. He has one of them. I think Allie has the other one, right? So
Hmm.
Yes,
Allie
you
has
do.
both of them at this point. So, and now we don't have an episode this week. CW's taking spring break off as well. So, but we're gonna get two more, the 22nd and 29th. The titles for those are Into Oblivion and 30 Days and 30 Nights. And then from there, it's a few weeks in April before they finish out the season in May. So, guys, where this ended up, we're about the halfway point of the season. I think it is 15 episodes. Your thoughts? Where are they going from here? How is this going to end? And where does the series go? Pretty much.
I'm curious how they're gonna handle Allie. I've heard some rumors about her and um, of who she might actually be. Uh, but so I'm curious. I mean, she's of course obviously the main baddie, but I mean now they've done what like three or two or three switcheroos here. So it's possible she's going to be somebody completely unexpected. Um, and maybe they'll bring in another character too, just for the heck of it. But I'm looking forward to it. I mean, with Jonathan using XK. Oh, for one thing, I do think his girlfriend is Anderson's daughter
Huh.
because he
Never
has
revealed
full
the father.
access to a lot of that XK. And she said something about, once they find out who my dad is, like it'll ruin his career or whatever. So when she kind of said that, and then they showed Anderson with cases and cases of XK, I have a feeling he's her dad. Um,
Wow.
I just wanted to throw that out there, but I don't know. I know there's some set photos of Jonathan wearing the Superboy comic style attire, So I don't know, is maybe his powers are going to develop at some point. You know, the XK kind of brought him out a little bit.
Mhm.
So I'm curious about that. But either way, whatever they do, I mean, it's just such a great series, and I don't know. And I know we still need to see John Henry, see if he kind of recovers. Hopefully, makes it through. Um, but yeah, there's just so much going on. But it's not overwhelming like some shows. I just love the show.
Yeah. That is interesting, though, that if Anderson turns out to be Candace's father, because, whoo, boy. So you wonder if he's been like, yeah, send these to your friends. Let's test them and see what happens, right? So I can
Hmm.
use them in the field. Joe, your thoughts on that and where you think the future of the series is going?
I think the future of the series is probably going to wind up going into this inverse kind of world and kind of showing the dangers that lie beyond this particular universe. Um, it's going to be one of these big cliffhangers where you're going to want to know, oh no, they're going to end it there, but they
Yeah.
have to in order to kind of reel you back in for season 3. And I think season 3 is going to be wild, but I think they're going to end it on a cliffhanger. Um, some things are going to happen, maybe some characters wind up not making it to season 3.
Please, please.
uh, I kind of got my eye on Tal Roll. I think something's going to happen with him. We've already seen him kind of take a bullet for his brother,
Literally.
literally. I wonder
Yeah.
what else he's going to wind up doing to kind of help him out. Or the adverse, reaction could happen where he seizes an opportunity and actually goes with Allie, to kind of start a new society. And that would be really interesting because it would kind of mirror something that kind of already exists, I guess, in the universe. Where Allie Aston or Alston is part of another society. I forgot what they called it. It's from uh, I forgot the name of the society that she's part of in one of the comic books. I kind of read it somewhere, but I lost the thought of it now. Um, but it's like an inverse society or something like that that she heads up. And to me, that would be kind of the way that they would want to go with the season, showing that she's part of a bigger collective of other people in power in other inverse universes that kind of work together for another agenda. To me, that would be a really fascinating aspect of that. And showing what's going to happen, and maybe even going as far as even bringing in John Henry's world into this, because now you have one character who is also from another inverse world, just such as John Henry, and now you have Allie Alston, who's part of another inverse world, and we've already seen her here on Earth, on this Earth, and also in the inverse world, and now you have Bizarro, who's another character from another inverse universe, or another world. So to me, it's like the stage is already being set up. Now it's kind of just bringing everything together, and I think that's what's going to happen with season 2 is you're going to see it hang on this cliffhanger. Maybe you're going to start to see the beginnings or the mentionings of this new, this society that Allie is a part of and why she's so powerful. Because her power spans not just in this inverse, but in multiple inverses. And I think the pendants bringing them together allows her to go ahead and travel at will in between the two worlds, so she can have a bigger influence and basically do whatever she wants, kind of like we've seen what's going on with Loki, the Loki series, and he
Mhm.
who shall not be named, I think Allie is the equivalent of that to this universe or to this Superman universe. So she's a lot more powerful, I think, than people realize.
Yeah, and that's what I'm wondering if her story arc is going to extend beyond this season too, with how much power she has, especially if she has both pendants now. Where are they going to go from here too? And yeah, John Henry's going to play a big part if he goes in the inverse world, which is technically the inverse of not even his world because he's from a different Earth,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that'll be interesting. So. Well, cool. We're gonna shift away from Superman and Lois. If you haven't seen episodes 6 and 7, sorry we spoiled it for you, but do catch up. It's great. Catch up on all the episodes on the CW app for free. Either on your phone, your Roku. They're free out there, guys. It's network TV. So, but we're gonna shift a little bit of wrestling talk because there was a bit of news that happened yesterday. Wrestling fans know we were keeping in touch on Twitter. We found out on Sunday Scott Hall, also known as Razor Ramon, uh, due to some complications from a surgery that he had, basically a blood clot got loose. He ended up having 3 heart attacks and was on life support. Um, Yesterday morning, Kevin Nash, his probably his best friend in the business, had revealed that they're waiting for his family to get there. They're going to take him off life support, and it shows you how much of a fighter it was for Scott Hall. 4 hours later, after they took him off life support, he was still there with us. But a few minutes after Raw started at 7 Central Time, he did finally pass, and it's this is hard because this was like this. There was a big group in WWE so many years. The Click. It was Shawn Michaels. It was Sean Waltman, X Pac, Kevin Nash, Diesel, Scott Hall, Razor Ramon, Triple H. They were just the best of friends, and the founding member of the NWO. For so many people's childhood, this was tough, and I just want to start this off with you guys. If you have any favorite memories of Scott Hall, Razor Ramon, something that stands out to you the most from his career and his life.
I think for me, it was seeing him come in, for the first time. That first match that he ever had, when he was still with the WW uh,
F
F
time.
at
Yeah.
the time, and it was just a character. They didn't even like to not much fanfare. They just introduce him. He comes out, and everybody's like, "Who's this guy?" You know, straight out of they go coming to you from Miami, Florida. And they introduce him, Razor Ramon, and he has his outfit on with that little gold suit, and not the suit, but the vest. And he
Chain.
has the chains and the toothpick and the hair, and that kind of swagger where he just doesn't care about people. And throws a toothpick and all that. It
Perfected
was the
that pretty
start.
much. But
Yeah, it
yeah,
was
so
the start of what he was gonna become. And you already knew. I said, look at this guy. He's got that presence already. He likes to play that anti-hero. And the one character that everybody loves but secretly hates him because of the way he portrays himself. Even just another match that really stood out at me that was kind of revolutionary at the time, the ladder match between him and Shawn Michaels, foreshadowing what was to become, the infamous tables, ladders, and chairs matches that we grew accustomed to seeing. They're the ones that started that, and they were talking about, if you go back and look at an interview they had with both of them talking about what was going on in the match, they're like, we only had the one ladder, so they were trying not to break the damn ladder. And he's like, look what happened right there when it kind of bent, and they were like, oh crap,
yeah,
and then he goes, and then when they had the rematch, he goes, then we got two ladders, and we're like, ooh. So it
we
was
got to it. Yeah, So
it was fun watching them reminisce, and it was fun watching these matches because at the time, a lot of wrestling fans didn't know really what was happening right before their eyes. But without Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels having that ladder match, you're not going to have the extreme matches that you have today. So he really was a revolutionary, and being able to transcend being with the WWF, then making the trek over to the WCW, and then becoming an iconic character with the NWO, and Hogan, and Diesel, and it's just goes to show you how great not only of an athlete Razor Ramon was, but he was a good actor. I mean, he could sell the character, man, and that's something that's kind of a lost art now. In the modern times of the WWE and what it's become, where fans are getting tired of these stagnant storylines. Back then, I mean, being turning a heel was a good thing, and nobody did it better than one Razor Ramon. He loved to play the heel, you know, and he did a miraculous job. And Razor's Edge to this day, one of the best finishing moves in wrestling.
so many variants of it too. So
Yeah.
Jericho, your favorite memories or your thoughts on Scott Hall?
I don't really have a favorite match or anything like that, but just kind of like what Joe said. I mean, the whole personality of being the bad guy, and he made it his own, and like you said, he made being a heel cool. And he just anytime he was on camera, even when they went over to WCW, there was a few times they took over like the announcers table and stuff. Like it's just fun, like you could tell, especially he and Kevin Nash, they just have that whole dynamic. Um, it's just so much fun that they had, and you could tell it was, like they're kind of riffing off of each other, and they just work so well together. So I don't know, man. Like it's really sad, and especially with the everything he's gone through, and just with the sobriety and everything. And I know it's really cool when he started doing DDP yoga, and like he just kind of really started turning his life around. Um, I will say one favorite, I guess, memory of mine is actually when we had the first Alamo City Comic Con. I think it was it X Pac, Nash, Bret Hart, and Scott Hall were there. I don't remember if there was other wrestlers, but I remember going to the panel on that second day that they had it. They had a very fun panel, and just them just talking about stories of the road, and they had to make it as clean as possible because there's a lot of kids there. But
Yeah.
just seeing them like having fun with the three of them, and there was one time where we were kind of walking around. I guess they were taking a break from like autographs and all that stuff, and they were still in the halls and stuff, just taking pictures with people. And so he's just this huge dude, and him and Kevin Nash are just huge, massive people, but like they seem like one of the nicest people you would ever meet, So
Yeah.
um, very sad that he's gone, and I'll say, he's no longer suffering. He's no longer having to deal with his demons and everything. So I think it's bittersweet.
Yeah, the most remarkable thing he ever did in his life was get clean. I would say, because we've seen it. WWE paid so many times for him to go to rehab. It wouldn't
Yeah.
work out. There's the infamous video where he's completely wasted out of his mind, shows up for an indie show that he's booked on, and the promoter, like a fucking idiot, sends him out to the ring, carries him out there, just leaves him there, just embarrassing him. And I don't know if anybody's ever worked for that promoter again, but um, in a weird way, this ties into, I never met Scott Hall personally. That Comic Con you mentioned, they were some of the nicest guys there because there's a friend of mine who went day one, took pictures with them, went home and got them developed, came back day two just to get them autographed, and they did it no problem.
Wow.
It was really cool. They were definitely open to that. I did meet Kevin Nash years ago at TNA Victory Road. This was probably like 2007 in Houston, I think.
Wow.
Yeah. So Scott Hall wasn't there, but that just the stories about him. How this ties into what I was talking about is that when we went to WrestleMania 32 in Dallas, after WrestleMania, we went to a midnight show at a promotion there. I forget what the promotion was, but Jake the Snake was there, and
Wow.
that's where I was able to buy a copy of the Resurrection of Jake the Snake. Got it autographed. Also got it autographed by Diamond Dallas Page later when he came to Alamo City. But DDP, God, he's saved so many lives in wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Scott Hall was one of them, and Scott Hall in turn was instrumental in saving Jake the Snake's life as well. And for Scott Hall to turn that life around with the help of Diamond Dallas Page to become a Hall of Famer in WWE not once but twice. One is Razor Ramon, one is the end, is remarkable. For Jake the Snake himself to not necessarily in the Hall of Fame yet, but he got to be in a Royal Rumble. I mean, it's a start. When his drug use, both of their drug use was so rampant that you never thought they'd ever be seen on television again. But here they are. Jake the Snake still makes appearances for AEW. It's remarkable. Wrestling, at least for my childhood, lost one of its biggest characters, and it's tough to think about. But like you said, the saddest part about it is he got clean. He got clean, and it's a complication from a surgery that ultimately took his life, which sucks. But there's been nothing but nice things people have said about him. He's one of the nicest guys ever, and just the fact that he would walk around at Comic-Con, just take pictures.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of those guys that understands fans are the reasons you do this, and he's one of those old school guys. So a lot of the tributes are pretty tough. There's we have a little wrestling group chat, and someone found an old match of him wrestling a young Japanese kid by the name of Hiroshi Tanahashi years ago. Where is he now? He's one of the top stars in New Japan. So, and Tanahashi, for his part, did his own little Razor Ramon tribute at a New Japan show today. So,
oh wow!
I'm sure we're going to be seeing a lot of promos starting with the words "Hey yo" for a while. thank you, Scott Hall. Thank you, Razor, for the memories. Rest in peace. And, thank you for a too sweet career. We'll see you down the road. So, guys, anything else we should add from the geek universe, wrestling universe? I think we're pretty set. So, keeping this under an hour, which is better than whenever Steady hosts the show, right?
Yep, we would still have we would still
Thing
barely
going
be
on.
starting Lois and Superman.
I think that we got to put Teddy on timeout. He's going to be reduced to just doing movie reviews now.
Oh man.
We'll be back next week. I don't know what exactly we're going to be talking about. Maybe a little Star Trek, Joe, if you want, because Picard has been season 2 has been so far so good, way better than season 1. And Discovery is crazy good. So
I actually enjoyed season 1 of Picard too. That's the weird.
I didn't. It was the way it ended that really threw me off. I didn't like the way it ended. I wasn't a big Next Generation guy, but yeah, it was okay. But the way they started season 2, and it's like, okay, this is cool. This is pretty cool. They're going to do
season 1 was sad, man.
Yeah,
it almost made me ball out, especially with Data, dude. That's like,
yeah. My friend Kathy, a big Trekkie, she let me know that they've already either wrapped or they started filming season 3, and that is it. There's going to be 3 seasons of Picard. So they've said it. They got the story. They're done. I mean, Patrick Stewart can't do this forever, right? So, so they're only going to be 3 seasons of Picard, and Discovery though has been great. So I don't know. Maybe we'll do a little Trekkie discussion next week. We'll see.
I think we need to have some Trek discussions going forward, man. Because
they even announced the movie. They're doing another movie, and they just cast Kirk for what's the Undiscovered Country? Is that the new show?
Strange New Worlds.
There you go, Strange New Worlds.
Yeah, Strange New Worlds, which is a spin-off of season 2 of Discovery. Undiscovered Country, Star Trek 6.
Yeah.
Work on your trekking knowledge. Strange New Worlds has started filming. We actually got a quick teaser of it with Captain Pike, and it's a spin-off of season 2 of Discovery, which personally is my favorite season so far of Discovery. Nothing against 3 and 4, but 2 is just so good. It kind of tied everything together. But that's coming. There's a lot in the world of Star Trek right now, especially with Paramount Plus. So maybe we can do a little Trekkie discussion. See, so.
Yeah, Ted needs to start getting on the bandwagon now.
Yep. I'll talk to Kathy, see if she wants to join us.
Ted will probably skip that episode then.
We'll keep it under an hour then, right?
I think it goes over Teddy's head. That's what it's hard to follow.
For those that are like, why are they talking? Here's what I'll say: if you have Paramount Plus or you can get your hands on it, watch Star Trek Discovery. Because even if you're not a Trekkie fan, I'd say this is the series that is a great way to introduce Star Trek to anyone who has not watched a single episode of Star Trek. It does things very well as far as explaining this world, ties into the original series, and in a way goes on its own. I could explain more, but it would spoil a lot of what happens. So definitely, if you haven't watched a single episode of Star Trek, I understand. Start with Discovery, and I guarantee you'll be hooked. So for the Countdown City Geekcast, well, before I do that, I will say WrestleCast, like I said, nothing this week. We might have a few updates here on our experiences at Dynamite and Rampage. We'll be talking about that a lot next week on the WrestleCast. So stay tuned. And that being said, if Thunder Rosa loses, the whole fucking city of San Antonio is going to riot. That's all. I'm JC for the Countdown City Geekcast. Joining me, the man behind the magic, Joe.
Yeah, thank you for watching the episode. It was a lot of fun being able to, take over the show with JC and Jericho here. I think we need to make this a normal thing going forward. Ted can just run the boards behind the scenes. But thank you guys for watching. Like always, we appreciate the support, and make sure you like and share and subscribe so you can be alerted of new episodes of the Countdown City Geekcast. So everybody have a safe spring break as well.
Please do. And I'm asking Jericho to turn his camera down just a little bit so I can see that full shit.
Oh, yeah.
Hello-ness.
It's a mashup of Animaniacs and Blink-182, Enema of the State.
Parental advisory.
Look at Dot covering her face up.
We got the guy who always trying to make laugh before we go live. We got Jericho. Still laughing.
Later, y'all. Ted, we love you. We miss you. This is weird without you, but we also had fun.
Yes.
So you'll be back sometime if you don't decide to move down to the beach.
Maybe go back to deserted island, Jericho.
That's true. Yeah. Or get swept away, and now it's just you on the island by yourself. But yeah, man, it was great being on the show, and just a lot of fun as always.
And shout out to my fellow Central Catholic alumni. This weekend we have our alumni softball tournament. Please be sure you stretch, take some Tylenol, and do some DDP yoga so we don't die out there. Okay. See ya.
Oh man.
Bye.